lie with your head that way and your feet that way? Ouch. Oh, on your back. You're still on your back. Yeah. Yeah, half a skeleton. Who needs a whole skeleton? Okay. So if and when you get a chance to listen to Feldenkrais teaching this lesson at the end, he finishes off with quite a long talk on proximal and distal movements. Yeah, that's how he finishes off the talk. So could you give me your hat? Thank you. So here you are in this position, or it was more like this, yes? And you were rotating, and you were rotating. Okay, so I'll sit here. So this is, so this is how you were, yes? Rotating, rotating. Who's doing the rotating? I just want to know. I want to be clear. That's all right. Yeah. And tell me, when I turn your arm this way, at what moment do you feel it reaches your shoulder blade? Before that. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, absolutely. And then if I turn your arm the other way, which is the more difficult way for you, yes? At what moment do you feel it reaches your shoulder blade? There, can you feel? Yeah. So this is you creating a movement in your shoulder blades by rotating your forearms. Did some of you feel that? Yes? Great. So this is what you get to practice, but in a slightly different way. So if you sit at your partner's head and you hold across their wrist, yeah, so your hand is around their wrist. If you want, you can have a finger up here, but that's up to you. Yeah. And you do exactly what you did in the lesson. The only difference is this hand here slides underneath the shoulder blade in that little V shape. Palm down. I'll show it on the skeleton in a second, yeah? And what you're feeling for is as you rotate the forearm in one direction, where can the shoulder blade go? Thank you very much. And as you rotate the forearm in the other direction, where can the shoulder blade go? Thank you very much. And can you see that's all your different positions where you had your arms? So if you had a forearm extended down there, it'd be down there. If you had the forearm extended there, it'd be up here. And because I can feel at both places, I can assist. Can you feel when we get to about here, if you just come up here a little bit with me, there you go. And then I turn the forearm and I go, can you feel? That's it. We just go down here a little bit. And we go a little bit up here and a little bit up down here. So that you get that association between forearm turning and shoulder blade moving. Does that make sense? Now, is it okay? I'll come back to you in a second. So what that looks like on the skeleton, because then you can see. So whether you're looking at the hip joints or whether you're looking at the shoulder joint, there's a particular position of the joint in which the rounded surface best conforms with the shape of the cup. And it just so happens both of them conform the best when you're in a quadruped position, when you're standing on hands and feet directly forward. Yeah. And it also just so happens that when, let me get it, yep, there it is. Look at that. Can you see that position? That's the head of the humerus, best conforming with the scapula. Look where it is. Just where your arm was. Yeah. Yeah. It also best conforms down, but here's really nice. Look, because that's quadruped. Can you see that position? Yeah. And you just bend the elbow. And so what I was doing with this hand, thank you for that presentation this morning. So the thumb is above the spinous process. The index finger is below. And when you've got the shoulder like that, can you see how the two meet together? Can you see that position? Is that clear? Yeah. So literally, you don't even have to get your hand all the way. Look, that whole section there just rests in this fleshy part of your hand, which is nice and sensitive. And so, as I was turning your forearm, as the forearm goes this way, that goes up. As the forearm goes that way, it goes down. Up, down, up. Yeah, and if you do it, he's not going to do it at all because he's disarticulated. Yeah, you get that you see, it's not going to work. Yeah, you get that turning. You get that turning in here, and when the turning is complete, it sends this spiral, this twist through the arm until it gets to here, and then it carries. So yes, this is a proximal, distal to proximal movement, but it's also got another tactic in there. And the tactic I like to call this tactic, you're connecting and you're propagating the kinetic linkage through the skeleton. So you start here, and then the movement propagates, and then it propagates, and then it propagates, and then it propagates. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Number 76. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So there's two tactics going on here. Proximal distal, yeah, using the distal to affect the proximal. And then you've got the propagation. Yeah. Oh yeah, you could do that. Yeah. You can call it whatever you can call it whatever you like to call it, whatever makes sense to you. No, that's not detailed enough. Yeah. You want a fact that there's some sort of chain of connection happening. So if you had a string of pearls, you lift that first pearl, and there's a bit of slack. Yeah, there's a bit of slack in that string until you lift it just enough, and then the slack in the string goes, and the next pearl lifts, and then there's a bit of slack in the string until you can see how I spend my time. No. Well, actually, I'm half joking that, but I'm half serious. After I graduated, I knew so little about FI, and I was so shy and so scared of working with other people that I would set up myself very mechanical games. So I would have a heavy ball connected with a little rope, and I would lift one until I counted the weight of the other one. I'd put it back down. I had all sorts of games that I used to play because then I was sure that it was only me and not the person who was interfering. Does that make sense? Yeah? So if you're so inclined like I am, please do that. It's immensely rewarding. I played yo-yo. I played tilting. I played tilting the roller. I played finger on the what do you call it? What do you measure food on? You know, the scales. I played finger on the scales. I used to link up rollers. I used to push one roller with it, and it's like, when does that other roller come into play? Oh, there it is. There's the weight of the roller. I used to play all of those games. I used to play ball on a blanket, pull the blanket, pull the blanket, pull the blanket. Oh, there's the ball. Yeah. And so all my anxiety about working with somebody just disappeared. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure. Yeah, games to play. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You're free to start. You can have leading role. Okay. So in the same way that you can, once again, the name itself is unimportant. Giving it a label that means something to you, the fact that you're moving here and then there's a series of events that happen through the skeleton until it reaches somewhere. And this series of events is bone bumping into bone. So we can get down here, and I'm going to work with you again in a moment. But you see, I could say to myself, rather than letting the scapula move, I'm going to hold the scapula. And then what you get to experience is the movement of the humerus inside the shoulder joint. So then you can use it for differentiation. Instead of feeling, oh, this is how the whole shoulder girdle comes, you can say to yourself, oh, this is the shoulder girdle in place, and this is a movement. This is Larry Goldfarb. This is his language. I really like it. This is a movement of the arm in the shoulder joint. And now this is a movement of the arm in the shoulder blade. And so the person can make a distinction. Ah, shoulder joint, shoulder blade. Now, from that talk this morning, you know that there's these bones around here that really prevent that arm from going in certain directions. So then what you do is you change the direction of the platform a little bit. Huh? Yeah, absolutely. For some people, yes. Look, not everybody, different people learn in different ways. And so those people that are really kinesthetically attuned, proprioceptively attuned, they're going to go for your ride and they're going to be fantastic. But those of us who are linguistically oriented or visually oriented, give them some clues. Don't keep them in the dark. Yeah. So you could literally say, this is a movement of your arm in your shoulder blade. And yeah. Can you see the whole arm in the shoulder blade? And then that's what that feels like. And now contrast it. Can you see how the tactics work? And now contrast it with, this is a movement of your arm in your shoulder blade. Okay, let's go back. Shoulder joint, shoulder blade. That's a very good thing. Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So you want to lie down again. And now you get a chance to verbally report, because now that's visually become explicit. But if you can offer a verbal report, that'd be great. Can I have your wrist, please? So go under there. And I can use the, no, don't worry about the technique. It will come around. So I can go, all right, so we're going here, and that's a movement of your arm in your shoulder blade. Yes? Would you agree? Now, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for the movement to arrive into my hand. That's what I'm feeling for. All right. Now, here we go. And this is a movement of your arm in your shoulder joint. Does that feel different to you? Yeah. Look at the position of our arms. Can we interlace fingers? Doing the lesson. Yeah. And it's just a bit more direct. Is that clear? Yeah. So movement of, now you tell me which is which, okay? That's the socket. Yep, I agree. That's often how I work with a client. Once they've got the contrast, they can tell me. I can disagree. That's the direction that's tough, huh? Yeah, because of the neck. You can feel it. Scapula. Yeah. All right. Is that clear? Thank you very much. Clear as mud. You know, if you just let the waters settle, the mud goes to the bottom. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, go and practice.